Games Brrraains A Head-Banging Life with a track by track. We are looking at Linkin Park's debut studio album, Hybrid Theory, a very popular album.
Very popular.
Released October 24th, the year 2000 through Warner Brothers Records.
Yep.
It was such a big deal to me growing up. I was 16 years old, and it's one of these albums I credit as a gateway for me.
Hang on. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, is it? You got
Brendan's
a fact?
Fact time. This album name, Hybrid Theory,
Yep.
is named after the band's second name. Because they were originally known as Zero with an X.
Yep.
And then they were known as Hybrid Theory for a year before they changed their name to Linkin Park. There you go. Brendan's Fact Time.
Okay. It is a 12-track album.
Yep.
And it is a fucking chore. And it's a chore not necessarily always in a negative. It's a chore because half of this album is the stuff you've heard a bazillion times over.
Oh, yeah.
The other half is the stuff you haven't heard a bazillion times over, but there's a reason why.
Because it's, yeah. Well, we'll get to them.
We
I suppose, won't we?
We will. We begin with Paper Cut. Cool intro. The decks followed by the guitars, rapping vocals are very hot and a perfect hip-hop kind of metal bridge expectation. Nice chorus.
Yeah.
However, not only is it far from my favourite in this album, I think it is aged terribly. Like, I was like, oh my god, how dated is this track? How dated is this album?
Well, interesting you mentioned that. But I wrote this was always my favourite on the album. But considering I haven't listened to it in over a decade, I guess that doesn't really mean much.
It doesn't know. It's not part of your best of playlist.
No. I do quite enjoy it still, though. It's alright. It's got a good rhythm to it. The rap verses work well as a foil for the choruses. Mm-hmm. I always enjoyed the singing at the end. Though some of the scratching effects are more than a little off-putting.
Yes.
And then I wrote, it's not bad, but man, does it sound dated now.
Wow, we both came up with the dated thing.
It really does. The whole album sounds it's not aged well at all, man.
True. Right, One Step Closer, one of the more famous tracks. And I think it's still a bit of a banger. It's easy to enjoy because it's got simple rhythm. And it's as close to metal as you're going to get from Linkin Park. The lyrics aren't great, though. The chorus is banging. And I do like the intense shut up bit at the end, which is pretty cool.
I can't, I don't hate this song. Right? That's the truth of it. I never hated this song. I think it's got a pretty cool intro. It's a good song. It's got faults, but it's a good song. I think the verses are good. The chorus is really good. And I fucking hate the ending. Shut up when I'm talking to you stuff.
Yeah.
Even when it first came out, I always felt it sounded dumb, like a kind of popular anger. Not quite furious, but more like a mum telling their son off.
Yeah.
Like in some of the more extreme versions of metal, it was like. The extreme metal version of that would have been like, I'm going to fucking kill you, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then Linkin Park came back going, shut up!
When I'm talking to you.
And I was like, it just seems like such a dumbed down version of angst.
Oh, yeah, teenage angst. Yeah.
Yeah, but teenagers were ruder than that. I was a teenager back then. I wasn't out in the street, using words like shut up when I'm talking to you.
But you weren't going to martial art clubs.
No.
With like weird monk guys jumping around.
Wasn't hanging out in the sewers.
Green films. Yeah. Then we get With You. This actually was always one of my favourite. And I actually think it's the first real showcase of just how strong Chester Bennington's voice could be. I love the chorus, in particular the extended bit near the end, even if the Dex bit just before that is utter shite.
Well, I just wrote, yuck. So many effects.
Yep.
There is a point where it settles into a good riff, but I kind of found the song to be like, I wrote, it doesn't really make sense really, but I wrote it was a bit of an Android song, like where it's like half done by people, half done by machines.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Oh, there's a singing bit and there's the computers. I don't really remember liking this song much originally.
Yeah.
I like it even less now re-listening to it.
Okay.
So yeah, not for me, that one.
Not for you. Well, what is not for me is Points of Authority. Way too much rapping and a bland-ass chorus. It's also so heavy in electronica that what you just said, I think applies here.
Yeah. Well, this is weird, because I quite like this one. Back to Catchy. It's got a good drop into the main riff. I don't mind it. I don't say I like it. I don't mind this one. That was what I actually wrote. The verses are well sung. The chorus is okay and catchy enough, though it is overly saturated in scratching again.
Yeah. Then we get to Crawling. Another big one. Now, it's been a very long time since I've listened to this. It's a skip one almost all the time because of how overplayed it is. And even re-listening to it, I didn't get any new appreciation for it. I still found it tough to hear.
Yeah.
However, I can admire its melody and Chester's voice.
Yeah.
But funny enough, now what I enjoyed more was the verses, not the choruses. But you listen to this, and it's dated as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, similar thing. I wrote I know it's a good song. I know that, without having to enjoy it much myself.
Yeah.
I think it's a really strong message, even more so now when considering what happened with Chester.
Yeah.
Where it led to. From that perspective, it's one of the best written on the album. But it really hasn't lasted well. It sounds really bad.
Yep. Yeah. Runaway. Now, it's at this stage I realised the Linkin Park theme was becoming clear. A bit of electronica, wacky sounds, and a blast of guitars and drums, followed by one or two starter vocals. I don't care for this.
Nope. I wrote, I hate the intro. It sounds like a dance classic. The chorus is okay, but the rest of the song is horrid. It has no flow to it, and it sounds like it could have been a strong emotional song if some of the dance beats and effects just fucked off.
Yeah. Ooh, those fucking things. Then By Myself, which I consider the worst song of the album. It's not rhythmically pleasing, and those Chester screams I find to be obnoxious to my ears. I just don't want to hear them. When he started doing them, and it's like myself, didn't mean my. I actually turned the volume down. I was like, I can't have that too loud. Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote it sounds like Static X in the very beginning. Right at the intro, it sounds like Static X.
Okay.
And then it drops off into a horrible rap over effects. I don't really like this. The chorus is a little bit more interesting, just purely because it's different, but it isn't listenable. It grates on you, and it sounds so confused.
Yes. Then we get another one of the big ones, In the End. It's a nice melody, but it's so overplayed.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I like it for the off-kilter keys and Chester's voice, but I mean, you're asking me to stretch. You're asking me to say, look, you must say something positive about this track, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. My first lines that I wrote down were, the walk.
Yeah!
That's any time In the End comes on, that's the first thing that pops into my head is Mike Shinoda doing that walk.
Yeah.
The whales flying behind him and him doing all the rap stuff. It's the first thing, right, so it's the first thing and it's chock full of things I don't like.
Yep.
Effects, kiddie rap, polished sounds. Despite that, though, I have to admit it is a catchy hard rock song.
Yep.
It's got some transitions into the chorus at the end too, which is pretty good, and it's got a little bit of piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be kind.
We are.
Basically.
And that's where the kindness ends, pretty much.
Yeah, I haven't got much else.
Yeah, A Place in My Head. It's utterly forgettable. It's filler, and I hate the chorus.
I quite like some of the instrumental sounds.
Okay.
I thought it's pretty cool what they're trying to do. It's different. I don't care for the rap at all. I thought it was a good idea bringing the singing in under the rap a little bit before it takes over. I think it also comes with the second mild outrage on the album in the lyrics when he starts shouting, "You tried to take the best of me, go away."
Yeah.
Go away.
He's emotional.
And I wrote, and I think I'm probably, weirdly, this is me being really kind to this album, because I even wrote, it's not the worst on the album, but then I followed it up with, but there'll be no way in the world I'll be keeping it on my music player.
Oh, there you go. Positives. Got nothing good to say about Forgotten either. I find this so distinctly average. Generally, it's as I was re-listening to it, I got this point, I was like, oh man, the best is done. The best of what this album had to offer is done. I still had 2 tracks to go, but I weren't convinced.
So I wrote, it's interestingly named, seeing as I cannot remember this one at all.
Yeah.
So
simple as that.
It genuinely was forgotten. It's a weird song. I don't like it much. There are little things that I'm trying to pick out that are cool, like some of the drum patterns are decent, that sort of thing, but mostly it's shit.
Yeah. So, with Cure for the Itch, this is what I think of this track. I said to someone who doesn't know metal and rock and go to me, "You've heard Linkin Park?" You go, "Yeah, I've heard Linkin Park." Oh, cool. Listen to this song. and I put Cure for the Itch on, and I'd say to him, you know, this band, like Linkin Park, became like one of the most popular bands in the world with headlining festivals and all that. And while Cure for the Itch is playing, I would expect their face to go, what, this band? Because I don't get it. Off this track alone, it's like, are you fucking serious? Obnoxious, scratchy rubbish. By the time it even tries to do this in the atmosphere, I'm so gone with it. I hate this track.
Let's hear it for the great.
Yeah, I wasn't massive on it. I wrote, what the fuck? This can fuck off my playlist right away. This shit probably influenced Korn's dubstep stage. Cheek of them to call this an instrumental. And that's it. So yeah, I was outraged. I listened to, I'll never ever put myself through that track again. There is some bad stuff in this album, and I was never a fan of this album in the first place. But I can, as an older person now, a bit more open-minded, I can listen back and appreciate some of the songs for why they were deemed as good.
Yep.
And some of them I can I like that bit, I like the drums there. Shit I wouldn't have noticed when I was younger.
Yep.
I would have just been like, nah, it's not for me. But this song is a fucking travesty.
Yes.
This is a travesty. I'd love to hear anyone defend this song.
Yeah, I'd love to.
From a metal viewpoint, and say to us why this is a good song and why it belongs.
Yeah. But happily, it's not the last, as we do get something a little bit more positive with Pushing Me Away. It's catchy, a little bit more in line with what we got in the first half. Subtle tones, and Chester's voice is great. This is not, don't get me wrong, this is not a great track. It's nothing I love or whatever. But after Cure for the Itch, this could have been...
You could have played Madonna. Or U2 to me. And
I'd have been banging. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. It's another song, I don't remember this song at all. Not even an inkling of it. Same with quite a lot on the back half of this album.
Yeah.
With you. It's got decent start, well, some verses, chorus is good. It's a lot less confusing as a song. It flows quite well. And I kind of, and I did also point out less effects, less rapping is all a bonus. But I felt this sounded a little bit like more like where Linkin Park would end up in the hard rock genre.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
I thought that's kind of, that's where it sat a little bit.
Nice,
I don't mind it at all. And I wrote, it saves what has been a shocking back half of an album.
Yeah. Good God, the back half of this album. This is what we said at the start about how the first half is your overplayed stuff beyond in the end. It's the only one in the latter half that you can pull out. But you can see why it was Paper Cut, One Step Closer, With You, Point of Authority, Crawling, and in the end, why they were the popular ones.
Yeah, they were pretty much all, I might be wrong here, but I think all of them was you named were singles.
Yeah.
And none of these others were. So it was literally, this is an album of like two halves, like five singles and five, let's not push them with that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. There you go. Let us know what you think of Hybrid Theory in the comments. We'd love to hear someone with a legitimately decent defence for Cure for the Itch.
Yeah, unless it's Jonathan Davis.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?